Your call, please.
Operator, I've been ringing Murray Hill 35097 for the last half hour, and the line is always busy. Will you ring it for me, please?
Murray Hill 35097. One moment, please.
My husband's office. He should have been home hours ago. I can't think what's keeping him or why that ridiculous wire should be busy. They always close that office at 6 o'clock.
Ringing Murray Hill 35097.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Stevenson, please.
Hello.
I want to speak to Mr. Henry Stevenson.
Oh, George, speaking.
Hello, who is this? What number am I
I got
calling?
your message, George. Everything okay for tonight? Everything's okay. Our client says the
Excuse me, what's going on here? I'm using this wire.
Still 11:15, George? 11:15 is right. You got it all straight now, I hope. Yeah, I think so. At 11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. Then I get in through the kitchen window at the back. Then I wait until the train goes over the bridge in case her window is open and she should scream.
Oh, hello. Who is this?
I forgot to ask you. Still don't want to use the gun? But make it quick. Our client says he doesn't wish to make us suffer long. Okay, George, don't worry. There won't be any slip-up. You know me. And don't forget to take the rings and bracelets and the jewelry in the bureau drawer. Our client wishes to make it look like simple robbery. Simple robbery. That's very important. Okay. Now, let me just check the address again. It's...
Hello.
Your call, please.
Operator, you've just given me a wrong number.
I'm sorry, madam. What number were you calling?
Why, I was calling Murray Hill 35097. That's my husband's office, and instead I was cut into some other number that you dialed. The wires must have crossed or something, and I've just heard the most dreadful thing, a murder.
Yes, madam.
And now I want you to get that wrong number back for me at once.
I'm sorry, madam. I do not understand.
You dialed a number for me just a moment ago, Murray Hill 35097. It was busy for so long, and I asked you to get it, and you did. And then those horrible men came on, and, well, it's unnerved me dreadfully. I'm an invalid, you know.
I will connect you with the chief operator.
Please. Chief Operator, I'm an invalid, and I've just had a dreadful shock tonight over the telephone, and I'm very anxious to trace the call. It was about a murder, a terrible, cold-blooded murder of a poor, innocent woman tonight at 11:15. I was trying to reach my husband's office. He should have been home hours and hours ago. I'm all alone tonight. My nurse has the night off because my husband had promised. As a matter of fact, he'd sworn he'd be home by 6 o'clock. I don't know any of the neighbors, as we live permanently in Chicago. Well, it so happens that the couple I have working for me had some important date or other. I don't know, a movie, I suppose. They said it was promised them 3 weeks ago. You could have thought they'd at least have checked with me before leaving, had some realization of my condition, but I've been ringing and ringing the bell for nearly an hour, hoping they'd come back or something, and there isn't a sound downstairs. Not a sound.
Yes, madam.
So, as I say, when I kept getting the busy signal in my husband's office, I naturally dialed the operator and told her to try it, and she did. And then, out of a clear sky, I was cut into this ghastly conversation between two killers. And now I'd like you to trace it for me at once.
Well, madam, that depends.
Depends on what?
On whether the parties have stopped talking to each other.
Well, of course they've stopped talking to each other by now. It was just a short call. They weren't exactly gossiping.
And what is your reason for having this call traced,
Reason? Do I have to have a reason when I overheard two murderers? Isn't it obvious? Now, look here, my good woman. You probably don't understand. But a human being, a woman, is going to be killed somewhere in this very city. And this murder is going to take place tonight. Do you hear me? Tonight at 11:15. Now, isn't that a good enough reason?
I quite understand, madam, but I would suggest that you turn this information over to the police.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, all this idiotic red tape. You just sit there and let people die.
Your call, please.
Give me the police.
Yes, madam, ringing the police department.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Listen to the big tick-tock. Isn't that nice? That's better. Say, maybe that's your mom calling for you. Precinct 17, Duffy speaking. Yes? Oh, yes, Mrs. Stevenson, I remember you. What? You what? A murder? Yes, go ahead. But there's lots of people by the name of George. And as for the private patrolman on 2nd Avenue and the bridge, the 2nd Avenue is a very long street. And you happen to know how many bridges there are in the city of New York alone? Not to mention Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, and the Bronx. You know, telephones are very funny things. Now, look, lady, a lot of murders are committed in this town every day. If we could stop them, we would. But a clue of this kind that's so vague, well, it's not much more use to us than no clue at all, unless you think there's something phony about this call and somebody's planning to murder you.
Me? Of course not. That would be ridiculous. I mean, why should anybody?
Well, you see, ma'am, there's nothing for you to worry about. Now, if you'll excuse me, please.
Just a minute.
Will you please excuse me, ma'am, for just 1 second? Oh, now, darling, what are you crying? Be a good girl. Everything is going to be all right. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I've got a couple of other things here on my desk that require my immediate attention. Good night, ma'am.
All right, don't listen. Who cares?